Hey guys, come on. Come on. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. Um, it is an awesome day. Um, I'm mixed with emotions because in the country there was such a tragic loss of the Mason, the Williams, and the Procise family. So first of all, I want to give my condolences to these families, to everybody involved, Nicole Taylor, Ann Jones, everybody, Pam Mason, just it's just a host of people. Like I said, that's suffering at the loss today. So I want to give my condolences to my country friends and family down back in Virginia on the loss of her and the twins. So um, I know it doesn't appear to be understandable. It's not understandable when there's loss. It's not understandable when baby lives are showing, and even our lives in the midst of our lives. So my condolences and prayer to everybody in the midst of this loss. Even the classmates, even all of us that's feeling the pain and ache. As I go down my timeline, I see so many people saying, my heart is hurt. And in the midst of this hurt, I do want to be obedient and tell you that this is a good time to say thank you. This is a good time, not because of the loss. Don't get it twisted. I cannot have the words to give to those who have lost and who's suffering and who's going through this. But I want to tell you, for those of us who have the strength to pray for them, for those of us who are here today, for those of us who have other problems to be concerned about, today is a good day to say thank you. Today is a good day to say thank you. And I tell you why. I tell you because of the simple fact that when you look around and you realize that God has kept us in the pandemic, in the midst of all the loss, that God is keeping us despite all the stuff that's going on in the world, despite all the sudden deaths, people dying all around us, and we still doing what we want to do. Come on, let's keep it real. We're still doing things that we know we should not be doing. We're still going to places that we know we should not be going through. We're still having thoughts that are not even remotely godly. We're still having jealousy towards people. We're still being angry about things. We're still harboring unforgiveness in our heart. We're still complaining about the same old things, and God has kept us. This is a good time to say thank you, because what I'm realizing day by day is that in the midst of us being human, in the midst of us being human beings, in the midst of us not knowing a darn thing, in the midst of us not having it all together, God is still sweet towards us. Oh my God, come on somebody. He's the sweetest thing I know. He's still patient with us. He's still dealing with us. He's still concerned about us. And even in the midst of tragedy, he's still giving us another opportunity, because listen, we can't see why God does what he does. We can't see the things that he does. We don't know why he's moving the way that he's moving. But the bottom line is that he's still moving. And he's still moving on your behalf. And he's still moving on my behalf. And he's still good, no matter what it looks like. He's still God. So listen, guys, the word tells us that God will gather his people unto himself in the last days. And we don't know if this is the last days, but it pretty much look like the last days, don't it? It looks like it with the new world order. It looks like with the cryptocurrency. It looked like with the constant death. It looked like with the despair and the hope and people just trying to figure out how to get through another day. It looks like the last days. And we're walking around in awe because God is picking this one and God is plucking that one, and this one number is being called and that one number is being called. But listen, your number wasn't called, so that means that God is still working on us, that God is still looking at us, that there's something about us that God feels is giving us another opportunity. Because listen, let me just put it this way: if we were to die today, so listen, guys. Bear with me. This thing is saying trying to reconnect, and is blacking out. because the devil is angry. But let me tell you this, it's already been done. The blessing of God has already went forward. So let me tell you this right now, guys. If we were to go today, then some of us wouldn't even make it to heaven. Let me tell you, God's grace is beyond our understanding. God's compassion is past our ways of even figuring out. God's ability to keep us when we can't keep ourselves is greater than anything that could ever keep you in this world. Listen, let me tell you something. If God does a thing, God does a good thing, because God is all good and God is all knowing. You get what I'm saying? So when God does a thing, it's a good thing. And yesterday alone, I was thinking about the fact that back in 2009, I'm trying not to get emotional. Back in 2009, yesterday, I think it was yesterday or either day before yesterday, both of my parents were in a car accident. They were knocked off the road by a tractor trailer, and I call them transfer trucks, but a tractor trailer, and the car was totaled. And I can remember being at work and getting a call. Actually, this is what happened. I can remember being at work because I was a supervisor on the floor. And I had left my phone in the car. Normally, I don't even leave my phone in the car. I take my phone everywhere. But I had left my phone in the car this particular day. So when lunch came, I went out to the car and got my phone. And I had all these calls back to back to back. And when I called my sister back, she said, I'm on my way to get you. See, she was already en route to get me because I wasn't answering. And I said, what? And she said, Mom and Dad is in the hospital. They were in a terrible car accident. And all I could remember, guys, and I've told you guys this story before, all I can remember is prior to that, for like 7 months, I told you that I was not being able to sleep at night. I had a dark cloud on me. I was praying, I was praying, I was praying, I was praying, and come to realize that I was interceding for my own parents. When I got there, my parents were scratched up, but both of them were okay, right? And then when we got to Stony Creek, I saw the car, and it was no. Let me tell you why I'm feeling the way I feel, and it's a good day to say thank you. There's no way that they should have walked out of that. So when I say God does all things good, that means that if God allows it, that means that God is still working it out, and God knows better than we do. That means that if God allowed them to walk away, there was some work that God still felt like they had to do. There was some cleaning up that God felt like he had to do on our behalf. So even on that day, I got emotional because both my parents are still here. So it's a good day to say thank you. It's a good day to say thank you, because not only is God graceful, God is kind, and God is considerate. Because if my number was to be called right now, who's to say that I got it all together? But I know that I got a home in glory. Come on, somebody. I know that. But I know that God is still trying to clean me up some kind of way. I know that there's a lot of work to be done in me. I know that God kept me another night. He kept me another day. He kept you another day. So despite what's going on in your life today, when you look at the tragedies that's happening all around us, when you look at the loss that's happening on a daily basis, when you realize that you could have lost your mind, when you think about the fact that you get so tired in life sometimes that you say, God, you don't even have to come see about me, just come get me. I don't know who I'm talking to this morning, because people don't like to keep it real. I don't know if anybody else has ever been to the point I know I have with this condition when I say, God, you don't need to come see about me, you just need to come get me. Because I'm done. I'm done. I'm defeated right now. I'm over it. Life has dealt me all that I can take. I'm sick of going through this, and before I can get through this, I got to go through this. And then I can't even just worry about myself, because then I got my kids that's worried about this on this side, and then I got my family members that's going through this on this side, and then I'm trying to keep my own head up, and then I got my loved ones, and I got this and I got that, and every time I think I'm on top, I find myself back on the bottom. And then I had to say, well, God, I thank you. I thank you because, listen, the reason why I'm going through this is because I'm still alive. The reason why I'm worried about my children because they still alive. The reason why I'm concerned about my loved ones is because they still alive. The reason why I can say thank you is because we're all still alive despite what we're going through. Life is hard sometimes. It's trying sometimes, and it's going to take us through hell sometimes before we even see the sun. But guess what? The sun going to come up. Because weeping may endure for a night. Come on, somebody. Your night might not be my night. Your night might be 10 years. Your night might be one day. My night might be 5 years. But whatever it is, the word tells us that weeping may endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning. That means that this too shall pass. But in order for you to pass with your sanity, you got to realize that God is still God. You got to realize that God is still working on your behalf. You got to find something to say thank you. And this is a good day to say thank you. This is a good time to give God praise because, listen, it could have been the other way. Somebody don't understand what I'm talking about. It could have been you that somebody was standing on the graveside crying because you're gone. It could have been you that was taken out by COVID. It could have been you that didn't have no food to eat. It could have been you with no clothes and a house over your head. It could have been you with no job. It could have been you with this condition that I have. It could have been you. No matter how you shape, box it up and cut it, it could have been you. So guys, it's a good day to say thank you. That's all I got on here to do was to encourage you because our hearts are heavy, because we're going through a lot, because we feel defeated, because we feel like, God, not another day of this. But that's why I tell you that when I say it's a good day to say thank you, because listen, sometimes when I say, God, just come get me, he could have came got me. But see, I changed my mind because then I started feeling better and I had to say, God, thank you for letting me see another day. Thank you that you didn't take me from my children. Thank you that you didn't take me from my man. Thank you that you didn't take me from my family. Thank you that you didn't take me from my friends. Thank you that you didn't take me, out of this place when I felt like I couldn't go any further because you got greater things for me. Greater works for me to do. You got people's lives that I need to talk. I got books to write. I got movies to make. I got babies to raise. You see what I'm saying? God is not done with you yet. Despite what you feel like, today is a good day to say thank you. Today is an awesome day to give him praise. So listen, this is Dr. Michelle with your Friday motivation. I'm not going to hold you any longer. I just want to encourage you guys. I just want to encourage you with all these heavy hearts today because it was a traumatic loss. I just want to encourage you to pray for those who can't pray for themselves. Because listen, when it comes to grief, a lot of times what people don't understand is sometimes it's good to just listen and be present. Sometimes it's just good to just pray. Sometimes it's just good to let people know that they are not by themselves. It's been a traumatic loss, and we're not the only ones, and they are not the only ones going through loss. People are suffering all over the world. You're not by yourself. This world has made a switch transition, but God is in the blessing business, and he didn't stop because the world changed their mind about what it wanted to look like. He didn't stop blessing us because we went left and he told us to go right. He didn't forget about us because we failed to call his name, his mighty name. Come on, somebody. He didn't turn his back on us. So today is a good day to say thank you. And I appreciate all of you guys who on here. I'm gonna step out this sun for a second, guys. It was no sun at first. I put this head on to protect myself. It was no sun at first and it just looked like it came out of nowhere. But today is a good day to say thank you, and I encourage you to hold on just a little while longer. Hold on. So guys, listen, the thing went off again. I'm just gonna say happy Friday to you. Make it do what it do for you today, but in all that you do, don't forget to give God praise and continue to thank him. It's a good day to thank you. This is your Friday afternoon motivation with Dr. Michelle. Thank you guys for jumping on. Those who jump on despite all the technical problems, it's gonna get better. I trust God for that as well. I found out that I have 8 violations, new violations from Facebook.